before we get cut off.
I've traveled each and every highway and more, much more than this. I did my regrets.
Oh boy. All right. Welcome to Fix This Next live with some awesome hardcore pump up music. Courtesy of Mike. I did it my way, which is very appropriate considering the group that we have on today. Welcome. We have our co-host Amber Vilhauer, and we have Mike, of course, star of the show, and we have Barry, who it's launch day, bro.
Barry's book is launching today.
That's
Path
awesome, bro.
Freedom. I've got to pull that up. Well, we'll talk about it. Yeah, I'm going to pull it up.
You got it right there.
There it is.
Oh, yes.
He got a copy before
Whole
I
stack.
did, Barry. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's forever in your background.
And of course, Fix This Next. Now, it's very appropriate that Barry be on this show because he is arguably the most powerful of the power users of the whole Fix This Next methodology. He also is an early adopter on the Profit First methodology, if I'm not mistaken, and has been using that very, very well in his business and with his coaches at the other side of the world, which, you know, middle of the night for you or something, you just woke up, or
Early.
what time is it there?
It's super early, way earlier than I'd like to be up usually.
Yeah.
What time do you wake up when you go surfing? Like, do you go out there really early?
That's a different conversation.
Oh, you see,
that's
you
any
early
time.
for that, just not for us.
That's a full live stream show in and of itself with him on the beach, or, you know, streaming live from the surfboard. We have Barry.
Mike, have you ever been surfing?
Yes. I
You
went
have?
surfing. Yes. No, I'm not good.
Was it funny? Yeah.
It was
I
funny.
can
I've been
imagine.
surfing in New Jersey, and then Hawaii I was most recently surfing in on the island of Lanai.
Bit of pipe.
Coral reefs that were kind of crushed, thank God, because if you wipe out on that, you are in big trouble. So be careful.
I've never been. I'd like to. I mean,
It's awesome. Listen, I suck, but when you get up and you just feel a wave carrying you, there is a awesome feeling.
Yeah.
So Barry, when did you start learning surfing?
In January.
January. Do you
Yeah.
feel like really empowered and good? Like you know what you're doing now?
No. I
Really?
I don't. Do you reckon you ever get there? I think there's always a bigger wave. There's always a different break. Yeah.
That's true. Where are you headed next? You're traveling a bunch in August, right?
Well, yeah, maybe,
Well,
hopefully. Yeah, back to Bali would be the plan. The
Okay.
breaks in Perth are very different over here than Bali. Very different.
Well, if you're just tuning in, start a watch party and ask your questions on whatever platform you're tuning in on, wherever you're coming from. And we've got some really good stuff for you today. So, Barry, I want to know, how did you get connected to Mike in the first place and start using Profit First and Fix This Next?
Great question. I was just looking for a way to better manage my money. I got to this point in my business career where I realized I was really good at making money and I was terrible at keeping it. And I started to search around for methodologies and kind of created a bit of a bucket system. It just made sense. It's like, okay, I have some different bank accounts, put my money in there, but there was a bit of a gap. And more importantly, I found that I started to manage my own money, but then my clients had the same issues. And we were coaching a lot of business owners. And it was one area that I never wanted to get in because I was like, I'm terrible at managing money. I can't really go and coach people managing theirs. The accountants and bookkeepers can take care of it. But over and over again, we got to a position where we could grow great companies, but then they made stupid decisions within finances, and then it affected our ability to help them. And I was like, okay, we need to kind of do something about this. And my methodology of having a couple of bank accounts just didn't quite cut it. It worked for me, but it wasn't something we could commercially scale. And so we started looking around, and obviously that was around the time that kind of Mike's book came out, Profit First. And I was like, this is exactly what we need. And this is something we can teach. This is something we can share. This is something we can kind of help our clients to adopt. And we really haven't looked back since.
And there's a whole community of Profit First advisors as well. So if you're looking for someone, definitely look up Profit First online. You can find a ton of advisors, and I highly recommend you work with one of those people. It's a whole, well, actually, since we got Mike here, Mike, why don't you explain that paradigm shift? Because that was a huge wake up call for me. And I felt like I was pretty on it with that stuff until you explained it. And it was so simple. that one change that really transitions everything.
Yeah. So Profit First is based on the concept of intercepting behavioral paths, meaning when we do something, it is easier to keep doing that behavior habit than it is to change it. But if we can capture a behavior and channel it to the outcome we want, it's like catching a wave, right? It's like surfing, and it starts pushing you forward. And most people, when it comes to profit and their wealth, try to change their habits. Like, you know what, I'm running this business. I really need to learn how to do accounting better and the income statement and balance sheet, figure this out. And we get frustrated and we revert back to our base habit. The base habit is logging into our bank accounts and seeing how much money we have. I call it bank balance accounting. And based on what we see there, we'll take action. If I got money, I'll spend it. If I don't, panic. And we can change the outcome by capturing that behavior. I'll give you one example, and I'll show you how to do in Profit First. Is my own life, I wanted to start exercising regularly. And it was really about 6 years ago, I really ingrained my habit or process, not by changing what I was, but by recognizing it. And what I recognize is, for me, best to exercise in the morning. But in the morning, I follow the same routine. I get out of bed, I go to the bathroom. I'm like, all right, let's have a cup of coffee, plan for the day. And I'm like, I should get to the weight room, but let me just read, surf the web a little bit. Oh my gosh, I'm running late for work and never working out. Well, analyzing that pattern, I said, I get up, I go to the bathroom every single time. Therefore, that's where I need to intercept the behavioral path. And I put my gym shoes on my toilet seat. So when I get up and go to the bathroom, the only way to use the bathroom is by grabbing the gym shoes. And I'm like, just put on my feet. I'm off to the gym. And it forced that routine. I intercepted what I was already doing. So Profit First is the lesson is don't do the accounting because you're not doing it anyway. Instead, set up these accounts. They act like envelopes at your bank. So they have to be at your bank. And when you're at your bank, when you log in, we pre-allocate money. So as money flows in, we allocate to these different accounts. And now you know what the intended uses of the money before you spend it. You see money in the tax account, that's to pay your taxes. You see money in the owner's comp account, that's to pay your salary. You see money in the operating expenses, that is and only available to run the business. Everything else has its other intended use. So you continue to do the same thing, but now that same behavior, which we're really good at, channels the outcome we want. We, just to put kind of a wrapper on this, we have 450 Profit First professionals is what we call them, that are global. I actually have more than that now. Australia, Perth, Brisbane, Melbourne, UK, US, Canada, Africa, we all over the world.
Yeah.
We just surpassed 350,000 companies that have successfully implemented Profit First. The funny thing is, for the goal of Profit First, we're only scratching the surface. There's 300 million small businesses globally, so we have a lot more people to serve, but it's catching momentum. And these businesses consistently drive profit, quarter in, quarter out. And it's a subtle, simple change to set up accounts at your bank, but it works with our behavior, and that's why we see the results.
And it's how to be or become profitable today in your business, which is a mystery for a lot of business owners. And the moral of the story, put your dang shoes on the toilet seat and try not to get them wet.
Yeah.
If you sleepwalk or you can't function before coffee, maybe don't do that.
Yeah.
What were you
I
going
love
to
how
say?
you can automate it too, though. That was the biggest thing for me, is that it's like I used to get emotional around money. So I could set things in place, check in my bank twice a month, make the allocations, and the rest of the month I could just focus on serving my clients. So it made things super, super easy. Whereas before, like I used to spend so much time in my banks, on my book, on Xero or on QuickBooks, trying to kind of work out how to make more money. But once you set up Profit First, it's just so simple.
Yeah, there's this momentum that comes too. So I think I'm ground zero for Profit First. I mean, I'm sure other people are doing a version of this, but I started this for myself now 10 or 11 years ago, almost 12 years ago. And when I started doing it, at first, I thought it was a shell game. I was skeptical it would work, but I was so desperate to start making money. It's like, yeah, I'll do it. And by knowing what the intended use is of the money before spending it, it started to change the way I perceive the use of money. I used to think when $1,000 came to my business, I had $1,000 to spend. And now $1,000 was coming up, I was carving up. I was like, oh my gosh, I have $400 to spend. Now, notably, I started stealing from myself and busting the system. So I subsequently enhanced the system to prevent my own mistakes, my own disruption of the system. But the essence of it was there was instant clarity on what I had. And it's human nature is when we are constrained in what's available, we behave consistently with it. If you're going to eat dinner, go to a French restaurant, and I trust you'll eat less than if you go to an Italian restaurant. The French, the Italians, they serve you, bread, this overflowing pasta. A French restaurant, you get one fucking pea on the center of a massive plate, and they're like, enjoy. And at first we're like, what? And then you sit there for an hour with your knife cutting up that little pea and taking little bites. You're like, this is delicious. When the French have figured it out, at least when it comes to restaurants, is restrict the supply, and you have to work with that because there's nothing else available, and you start adjusting your behavior.
And use really sharp knives so you can cut that.
And use really
into like 18 pieces, so you feel like you eat a whole meal. Otherwise, you just push the pea.
Where does the inspiration for your books come from, Mike? Like, you've written a bunch of amazing books, and I know that you're working on one at the moment. Like, where does inspiration for your books come from?
So, well, they come out of two things. One is connecting with readers. You and I spoke a lot now, and just when we talked, just listening to your thoughts and stuff, like, oh my gosh, actually, it's funny. I was just writing down something just today. I was on the phone. I quickly scrolled down an idea that came out of this.
The prescription.
Yeah, I do. It's prescription writing. So
read that.
I can hold this to the screen for an hour and you couldn't read it. So I don't know.
Secret.
But listening, the other thing is it's my own problems. Here's the ultimate secret. And Barry, I bet you this is true to your book. It's true to everything in my books and I think everyone that teaches. Ultimately, I think the things we're teaching is what we need for ourselves, like really need for ourselves. So when I wrote Profit First, it was very apparent I needed it for myself. All my other books I've written, I need that for my own businesses. It's really something I'm trying to master. And I'm working on a new book now about marketing. I market okay. I really want to nail it. And therefore, the only way to really master it is to teach it. There's a saying, the greatest student in any classroom is the teacher. And that's the reality. And I think that's what you are, Barry. And that's what we all are here.
Awesome. Hey, by the way, shameless plug again for Barry's book, The Path to Freedom. We're just going to, we'll tell you guys about it at the end of the show too. But if you want to pick up some copies, Barry, where can they find this and order it today?
It's on Amazon at the moment.
On Amazon, The Path to Freedom. Just look for the sexy guy with the surfboard, and you'll be at the right destination.
And the girls,
I don't know if you've read the book yet. The Path to Freedom is you got to get on that surfboard. You got to start paddling. You got to go
paddling really
about
hard.
70 miles out in the ocean, but there's an island called Freedom, and most people don't make it.
The path is underwater, way underwater. So it's hard to find, but it's there. Here's the map right there.
I'm buying the book right now.
Well, thank you. I wish everybody would right now watching it. Like, don't do it later, do it right now. Let's help Barry out. The girls are putting the link to your book launch page into the chat comments as well. 4 bonus gifts that are available for you today. Larry's, I tried to combine Barry and launch in one word. That was weird. So anyway, Barry's launch day is happening today here in the States, although it's already passed for you, Barry, because now it's already Tuesday for you.
What a weird.
It's got a #1 new release status.
Oh.
Boom. And who launched that book? I mean, who's the?
Oh.
Got my copy. Just
while we're doing shameless plugs, person who launched both these books or helped strategize behind the launch of both these books is on the call as well.
Oh, and it was.
Where's your book, Amber?
So much fun. What'd you say, Barry?
Where's your book?
That's a great question. It's in the works. I am more than halfway through it. So it's called Elevate Every Experience. And it's all about how we can develop personal connection at every stage in our business, both in marketing and sales and in operations, to really scale our influence. So how are we developing personal connection with our team, with our clients, with our following, and then have the greatest possible impact with our business that way? There's really not a book like that, not in this way that's out there. And I just feel like it's a really important time to be launching the book. So I'm planning on launching it next year. And I just need to finish the editing phase right now, but I'm working on it, man. Working on it hard.
And Amber's backdrop is like every week it gets better. If you notice something unusual about Amber's backdrop, just chat it in the comments.
This is my mess with Mike. Hashtag Mess with Mike.
Is that
There's always got to be something different every week where I'm messing with you, bro, because I love you, man.
Do this again?
What?
Do that again? What?
Yeah.
Beep. Huh.
It's lollipop Mike.
Yes.
That's funny. Pop. Next time I should do like a little thought bubble and maybe it will say something.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Just scribble. Just scribble in the thought bubble and there you go. You're
Give
right
us
on.
ideas in the chat comments below. Mike, you are going to love the way we mess with you next week. That's all I'm going to say. The theme is it's purple related. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm looking forward to it.
You're going to love it. It's going to blow your mind. I'm thinking ahead about these things. But if anybody watching, you have ideas of how we can mess with Mike, like you go watch Mike's YouTube channel, listen to his podcast. He's a quirky dude and he likes all kinds of random things. And so he has this like Easter eggs all over the internet of like websites you don't even know are his or out there. And they're Michalowitzized.
Michalowicz. Have you seen my rapper website? Did you know I have a rap website?
Well, I've been trying to share my screen throughout this whole session. I don't have recording right.
If you so desire, there might be a rapper called Fat Daddy Fatback. Fatback. You may see, I may or may not have had a rapper career. Fat Daddy.
Oh my gosh. Patty and I were just talking about that on a call. Who is that with? Like website?
I want to hear Mike rap.
We're going to put it in the comments below. So we'll all see.
How have you integrated Fix This Next and that methodology into your, because you have a great coaching business out there in Australia that just is launching in the US as well. And there might be some top secret, not so secret collaborative conversations in the works. But how have you implemented Fix This Next with the coaching that you do?
Yeah, quite simply, it's the assessment tool that all of our clients do every quarter. So we've got a very good process called the game plan we do every quarter with our clients to help them to kind of create their next 9-day plan. And we use Fix This Next as a first assessment to understand where they're at, what they need to implement to then move forward. So we had an assessment tool that was kind of nearly there, but again, same like Profit First. Yeah, Fix This Next came along like, man, why reinvent the wheel? This is way better than what we've been putting together. So we've integrated it into what we currently had in such a way that just provides such clarity around what they need to be working on to keep moving forwards. And what's really interesting is to notice how quarter to quarter things are changing and evolving. And it's not just this like climbing the pyramid, but it's actually like, up and down depending on what the business needs, where the business is at. I know COVID created a lot of change in many business owners and their businesses, and therefore Fix This Next was a great way to kind of look and assess, well, is it a marketing problem now? Do we have some sort of an acquisition problem? Is it a conversion conversation that needs to be had? So it's just a very well-rounded tool and phenomenally put together, Mike, as well, to help understand what's that biggest thing we need to be working on. Because we meet clients all the time. They come in, they're working so hard, they're doing heaps of hours, they're just not working on the right things.
Yeah, 100%. So again, if you're watching and you just tuned in, start a watch party. Go get Barry's book on Amazon, The Path to Freedom. Hopefully you all have Fix This Next. If you're watching this freaking show and you don't have Fix This Next.
What I want to say, my dream is that I have buy this book, and other people also bought these books next to Fix This Next.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That's everyone's dream, man. That's everyone's dream.
Right, that everyone's dream. Like we pick someone off the street and say, "What's your dream?" Like to have my book.
I want to be like Mike, man. I want to be like Mike.
So Mike, I want to put you on the spot for a minute. I want to ask you, what is your dream for Fix This Next? Like if you had a vision for, I want this many people to have a copy of the book, or I want more Barrys to adopt the book into their business. Like what is the big dream with this particular book so that we know how we can help you achieve it?
Okay. So the monster dream is for 60 million businesses to use it as a tool. The reason that's the number, because there's 300 million small businesses globally, 20%, 60 million. And those 20%, it's based upon the Pareto principle, but that's the community that will embrace, activate and change. And I hope Fix This Next is a tool that can serve them. I really believe our global economy, I think I told you guys, I was saying for the longest time that small business is the backbone of the economy. I'm embarrassed I said that because that's not true. Small business is the economy. It's that clear. Small business is the economy. And what we're experiencing now, it's a macroeconomic crisis. Like we are in a big shit pile right now. What will get us out of this is the success of small business. And there's tools Barry's book is mandatory for small business. I hope that Fix This Next is a small element to at least find within your business where to concentrate your attention right now. And my intention, my hope is that there's 60 million businesses doing it. If so, economy solved. Not just because of my book, but because they're focusing on what to fix and are discovering Barry's book and other resources and are relentless in moving their businesses forward.
Well, I'm sure we have at least 60 million people watching right now.
Yeah,
So if you're watching right now, let's make Mike's dream come true.
Sure, please.
I mean, just go to fixthisnext.com, take the assessment.
Yeah.
End of story. Mission accomplished. We can have a happy dance celebratory. Maybe we'll.
That's huge. Yeah, actually, if I can be so bold, is everyone that's watching right now, take that assessment. It costs you nothing except for your time. And that's an important investment because you'll be focusing on the right thing to fix as opposed to all the apparent issues that constantly have fires. My second challenge is refer to 3 other entrepreneurs. You see, you taking it, you have an awareness, but if we share it with others, we can expand the awareness. So if you're willing, that's what serves me. And again, it costs nothing except for time and effort, but it'll focus you and these 3 people you connect with on moving their business forward in a very specific way.
So let's drop that link in the comments. Please do that. And if you're too lazy to take it yourself, or if you're awesome but just don't own a business, feel free to share it with 4 people. And then we hit our goal. So that would be amazing. And we'll all do the happy dance and hear Mike rap.
One of the easiest things to do is just tag people in the comments, right? Like you might be thinking, what other business owners do I know right now that are in my mastermind or that I met recently through a program or something like that? Like we really, as business owners, need to not be shy and we need to open up because we all need help, right? You're never exempt as a business owner from needing help, right? So help each other out by just tagging a few people in comments. That's what I would do if I were you anyway.
You raised a really interesting point, Mike. I believe there's 3 types of accountability. And I think this is why our community works so well is because, right, we have a certain level of self-accountability, right? We go take the test ourselves and it's like, oh, cool, like pat myself on the back. I've done something to grow my business. But then if we go and get friends to do it, we have peer accountability. So we have self-accountability, peer accountability, which is great. We've got each other to kind of help out. But there's also coach accountability. And I believe that's why we work so well because we have coaches that are constantly using the tool and referring to the tool. We have clients that are using and referring to the tool, and we have clients asking clients about the tool as well.
Awesome.
Okay, so if you guys like this, there's so much more where that came from. Barry has some of the most amazing guests on his show. So if you go on Facebook to the Game Changers, and is that the group that you want them to go to? If you go to the Game Changers, you will see a whole bunch of these live streams with Barry having some of the most amazing guests on the planet. And he's brilliant, especially when it's not middle of the night. You should see him during the daytime. I think he's smart now. And Mike just launched a new podcast too, correct?
Yeah, it's called Mike Up in Your Business. And
Mike Up in Your Business.
Yeah, Mike Up in Your Business. And we decided internally, we hit our 300th episode on Entrepreneurship Elevated. And it says time to do a little different thing and deep dive into business, but deep dive into topics that aren't explored for entrepreneurship. I think our opening episode was about racial unrest and what's happening with the lack of equality for, in particular, we're talking about Black entrepreneurs, but minority business owners. We explore just recently the topic of not relentless drive, but relentless rest, and why that actually may be a bigger solution for success in a business. So we explore topics you don't typically hear about and go in super deep. I think you'll hear some amazing stories.
Awesome.
So if you want Mike super deep, all up in your business.
Super deep. That's what we call it. Super deep, all up in your business today. Okay. That's what's called collectively. But
you should go check that out. If you're weird like Mike, do it. We're all there. We're all weird like Mike, which is why we get along. And check out Barry's stuff. Again, get the books if you don't have them. Amazing resources. I read a lot of books. I don't recommend a lot of them because they're not like top 10 books. These are both books we recommend. They're top 10 books, critical for your business, in my mind. So again, take the assessment. If you haven't taken it, totally free, very helpful as a triage tool. Probably the number one thing you can do right now in your business is get clarity on what needs to happen next. And that's exactly what Mike offers. So thanks so much for tuning in. We got like 2 minutes left. We need like the first stanza of one of Mike's rap songs here.
I know. I've been trying to figure out which one to pick based on this juicy
Well,
conversation.
I'll give you one because I'll see.
You're gonna pick it? Okay, good. You pick it.
Yeah, because I'm all nervous. I got to rap. So here goes. I'm back in black. I hit the sack. Been so long. I'm glad to be back. Yes, I loose from the noose. That's kept me hanging about. And I can't remember the rest of the lyrics.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Keep going.
What is the name of this song?
Back in black.
Oh, Back in Black.
But it's back in black, rap black.
That's such a good name for a song, man. I just
Yeah, when it comes to that's the only song I refer to when it comes to finances. Back in black. I hit the sack. Been so long.
You're like the Weird Al of rap now.
Yeah, sure.
A business rap.
I wish I knew how to beatbox right now, and I could like totally power this on. It is one of my goals.
Oh, Barry, you are a beatboxer?
No.
All right, we're gonna have a beatboxer on next time to get a new rap from Mike. We'll record it and everything, and maybe send that out as a special edition package. Thanks so much for being on this week, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the show. We'll see you next Monday. In the meantime, we'll have a couple more shows coming out. Tune in, follow, like all our pages and stuff if you're weird like us, and we'll see you there. Thanks so much. Have a good week.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.